Good morning. This is Marty Kaiser with Greater Orlando Realty. It is Wednesday at about noon. This is our inaugural real estate seminar for 2018. Hope everyone had a great holiday and best wishes for a healthy and prosperous 2018. To give a summary of real estate last year and what we expect this year, 2017 overall in Central Florida was a very solid year. Most popular areas had a significant appreciation rate ranging between 3.5% and 7.5%, depending on what part of town you were and, of course, what community you were in. New home construction was very strong. Typically, new home construction runs about 10 or 15% above comparable resales in a particular area. What folks are paying for with new home construction is, of course, they're paying for the latest technological advances. Everything is brand new, and you can select things to suit your individual preferences. One of the focal points that I want to discuss today is what I call the ICE concept, ICE. What that stands for, and this is what I try to involve my customers with, is number one, providing maximum information. So before I get started with a customer, regardless of whether they're a purchaser or a seller, I want to make sure that I've given them all the relevant information so they have maximum understanding of the technicalities in the marketplace. Many customers nowadays, of course, utilize the internet, and the internet's a great resource, but you have to be very discerning because some information on the internet is not always that accurate. With real estate, it's very common that people go through the various real estate websites and try to get estimates of property value. You know, those are through sites such as Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, etc. And while they all provide very useful information, frequently they're just not that accurate. They're a barometer for customers, but they really shouldn't use those as their frame of exact reference. So my philosophy is I want to make sure that you have all the information at your fingertips before I get started in assisting you. The second thing, and what I try to pride myself on, is communication. Communication involves a couple of different forms. Number one, I want to make sure that when I'm explaining things to a potential customer, that I do it not only in an informative manner, but in a manner that's fully understood by my customer. I think it's imperative that before we establish a long-term relationship, that the customers really have a good feel not only for the information that I provide, my personal philosophy, and what I feel is going to be the best way to achieve their objectives. So that is very important. The last component, what we refer to as the E of ICE, is equity and education. Equity means, regardless of whether you're a buyer or a seller, how do we maximize your financial position? Well, that involves a number of variables, starting with evaluating the area that you're interested in either buying or selling in. What has actually transpired in that area? Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? What is the ratio of active listings to what has sold? These are very important components. Also looking at what we call a trend analysis, meaning that we look at the data to see is it trending in sellers' directions or buyers' directions. This is kind of a variation. I'm a big sports fan of what we call analytics. So I'm a very big proponent of not only having all the data, but doing significant analytics of them to communicate to my customer exactly what the trends are. Equity means what is the actual price that the customer should expect. As a purchaser, what is the most that you should pay for a given property? Not only what it's worth, but what do I feel an appraiser would appraise it at? For a seller, it's kind of the same in reverse. What is the most realistic price that a seller should expect for the property? And again, what do we feel the property would appraise at once we have the contract pending? So these are very important components. So my philosophy is educate, educate, educate. So I try to share as much information as I can with my customer so that they have all the information at their fingertips that can make an informed decision on not only the direction they want to go, but whether they want to hire my services. I hope this has proven informative. We look forward to an awesome 2018, and I'll speak with everyone next week. Thank you very much.